Hi, this is Nate, and what I would like to do today is cover Xbrl for the MIS and Accounting Information Systems class 3353 here at the University of Oklahoma. I want to try and review and give you an idea of what extensible business reporting language, what it is and how it impacts the MIS and accounting majors. So Xbrl is actually a markup language. It is not a programming language, but rather a markup language. And what it does is allow the exchange of financial information. And what it's doing is it's integrating financial reporting into a lot of the standard documents that we see nowadays, like web pages or PDFs or regular Word documents. And it addresses the issues of being able to have computer technology being used to extract the crucial pieces of data from a document, regardless of how it has been formatted to look for the human or the end user. So it is an application it's an extension of XML. It is being developed and standardized for the financial and accounting industries. It looks sort of like this. The Price College of Business with the address would show up normal on a web page, but behind the scenes we have tags. We have tags just like we do in HTML, where it would say start bolding and stop bolding, where it would format. Well, this is the same tagging structure, but it provides behind the scenes information, or what I call metadata. It's data about the data. That's metadata. In this case, it would say, hey, I'm going to have a tag that specifies that I have a city or a state or a country. And then we put the data inside of those tags, which a different system could come to that web page and then extract that data. It's sort of like, well, there's actually a good cartoon that goes with it. Why Xbrl? Cartoon here, what we say to dogs. But what they hear is blah, 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 ginger, blah, 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 ginger. They're hearing their name. Xbrl is the same way. Xbrl is where we have these web pages which has all the advertising on it, all of the code which makes the page look nice to us when we're reading it, has all the disclaimers, extra information, and then in amongst all of that information that we're reading as humans is the crucial pieces, the profits, the earning per share, all of the actual data that we've then massaged and make look nice. Well, another computer system doesn't care about all the blah blah blahs. It only cares about the profit, earnings per share. So we need a mechanism that we can use for the computer, the information system, so that it can come in and weed through all of the blah blah blahs. What it does is, with this mechanism, a structure so that we can, behind the scenes, know what data is sitting on a page and being able to distinguish between the actual pieces of data that we need and the extra stuff that's been added for the humans reading it. What it does is allow the different information systems to go in and communicate. Thus, it simplifies the financial information that's on the page. It simplifies the transmission and the communication between all of these systems. And as naturally you could expect, that does end up having a cost savings, and you do get get some productivity gains and data quality improvement. Now the caveat is, and the thing I want you to catch here is, there are cost savings, gains, and improvements over time. The problem or the issue that we have right now is the cost in transitioning to Xbrl. We have to come in and create systems that are going to use the Xbrl, and that is going to cost money. That is going to hinder productivity gain. But once it's in place and once everybody's using it, that's when you'll see the cost savings and productivity gains. I'm going to suggest a couple of videos. There's two videos. The first one is a YouTube. It's Xbrl in plain English, and it covers what Xbrl is from another person's perspective. I've put the URL below, and then the second one is also a YouTube video. It's how Xbrl works. It's by Charlie Hoffman. A little bit long and tedious, but it's actually a very good coverage of how Xbrl works. In essence, what Xbrl does and how it works is we can create a taxonomy, a set of rules for the tags behind the scenes. Oh, we're going to put this tag in, and it's going to be for the earnings per share. And so we mark up the financial, the actual pieces, the numbers. And then we can create the financial statements, the financial reports. And from those, you can punch out a PDF, or if you want, you can punch out an HTML document, a Word document. It's traditionally what we talk about. Behind the scenes, embedded in those documents, is the actual Xbrl, which the other computer systems, not humans, but actual information systems, would actually pull those marked up financial facts. So Xbrl can be embedded in any of those documents. It is not specific to only a web document, but rather can be behind the scenes in a Word document or a PDF file. So it is not specific to one application. Then have to create taxonomies. Taxonomy is just a listing of all of the tags. Again, it ties into the metadata concept. It's data about the data. It's allowing us to come in and say, what is the specific tag that will be used to mark that I have an earnings per share number? And it sets up that listing. What you end up with is a document that will say, okay, here are all the pieces of data that we have that we're going to format and make look nice, but here's all the data, and here's how we're going to tag it. Remember that the human interface, what you'll see in the document, like this consolidated statement of income, that's been formatted for you as the human reading it to make it look nice. We've added the lines, we've put in the parentheses, we put in bold and spacing and the dollar signs, and behind the scenes is that Xbrl, which still encodes what the actual numbers are, the 79,685. The issue that we have is that a company may come in and they're going to create a tag, and they could, and this is from the video, how Xbrl works. On the one, at the 4-minute mark, he talks about, well, anybody can come in and they can set up their own tags. This is another crucial element. I could come in and I could say, okay, earnings per share, I want to create my Xbrl tag that's going to say EPS. So it's going to say start EPS, so it's going to have it in those brackets, and then it's going to say the number, and it's going to say close off the EPS. So each company can create its own taxonomy behind the scenes, and they create their own tag for each component. Now, that would be really cool in that, okay, I've got my taxonomy, but if you try to compare between different companies, they're all using or setting up their own sets of tags, so that defeats the purpose. So with Xbrl, what they want to do is standardize across the financial reports that says, okay, if you're going to put in an earnings per share, the tag has to be EPS. It can't be earnings per share tag. It can't be earnings PS. They can't just put in their own tag. They have to standardize it. That way, when an information system wants to go out and look at the financial data across a multitude of companies, they can quickly go in and grab and look for that same tag and say, find the tag that says EPS. And when it finds EPS, it knows that that's the earnings per share. And it's going to pull that data that's in between the starting and the closing tag. Again, what we see is just the nice formatting. So we're going to see the tags that are saying bold or underline. The information system is going to ignore the formatting tags and only look for the identification or Xbrl tags. Now, you can imagine that with Xbrl, the reporting requirements are different between industries. So, in the energy industry versus the telecommunications industry versus retail, the reports are significantly different. The financial statements are going to have different elements. And because of that, the government, they are developing sets of taxonomies. In other words, standards are specific to each industry. So the financial world, the banking industry, their reporting requirements are different. So they're going to create their taxonomy, their set of tags. And the energy industry, they're going to create a set of tags. And the retail marketing industry is going to have their own set of tags. So what they've ended up doing is creating a taxonomy within each industry, and they've got some I think there's something like 5 to 7 major industries, and each of those has their own set of Xbrl tags. And so within an information system for the IS people in the class, you would be going in and saying, okay, what's the taxonomy and how do we integrate our taxonomy for the industry that I'm working in, if I'm working for ConocoPhillips or Walmart, and you're going to be developing your websites, you're going to develop systems that allow you to display your financial data for the accountants, and you can go out to the internet and collect the financial data for other companies and use that in your reports. Accountants, you're going to have to know how this data is actually stored and then how it's actually sent out so that other people can again see it, and you're going to have to be checking for the accuracy. So that's a little bit of a background about Xbrl. It's something that you're going to have to be aware of. It's how we organize our data, how we tag our data, how we know an earnings per share versus some other piece of data that's being displayed. And remember, it's behind the scenes. It has nothing to do with the look and feel of the paper or the page that we're looking at. It stores information about the data, metadata. It stores the information behind the scenes for other technology, other information systems to come in and use and communicate. That's where we gain the efficiencies. This is Nate signing off for now. Hope you're having a good day.